Welcome back to SwitchCorner. It's that time of the week again, meaning deals, and well, lots of them this week. It turns out 19 of them. As always though, I do have two winners to announce to win one of two $10 eShop gift cards. To enter for your chance to win this week, it's simple as always. Just drop a quick comment down below. Now as always, today I'm covering eShops in the US, Canada, UK, EU and AU. So with that luck, we got a lot to do today, so hit subscribe if you love the Switch, as much as we all do here. Join our growing family and let's get started. So kicking things off, let's start with a new release that's already seeing a discount, and the smallest on today's list granted, but Dex coming in with 15% off. It's not going to change your life, that's for sure, but I'll take a discount on a good game. Here though, we basically get a 2D RPG set within a cyberpunk world. Took me a little while to get into this one honestly, but I feel like once I got it, I really enjoyed it. In fact, with this one, I will say I did originally intend to review it for the channel, but it's one of those that just took a little, longer than I expected. It's a great story though that has a nice amount of RPG elements, almost partnered with, I'd say, kind of like side-scrolling beat-em-up action. I use the term beat-em-up there though very loosely, because I gotta say it's so heavily rooted in leveling up and stuff that you never truly get that freedom to go and just kick everyone's ass. But I had fun. I'd check out a few reviews first personally before you do commit the cash to it, but yeah, if you was maybe tempted by this one, then maybe check it out now. So next up then, Cat Quest 2 on Thursday's edition, that's exclusively under $10 or your local currency. This one just didn't quite make the cut thanks to that 49 cents. But it's a fantastic game, well worth a look. Cat Quest 1 got so many comments on that video, just down to how well it is loved, and I gotta say, this sequel just takes the format and improves on it in nearly every way. I found the gameplay tighter, the story is entertaining, and then the runtime longer. Plus there's a dog on the cover of this one which gets it even more points. Great action RPG though this one. Don't let the cutesy kind of vibe put you off, because there is a lot to like here, especially at 30% off. Okay, so a game I've spoken about a few times now, but Ys 8 LACRIMOSA of Dana coming in, matching its best price again, and what a game this is. While I wouldn't call it, perfect, because Ys is kind of famous for its grind, and that's very much the case here, I still have no doubt if you're an RPG fan, you will not regret this purchase. Here though, expect to awaken shipwrecked and stranded, and you'll basically band together with other passengers and locals and go on this adventure, battling beasts, saving villages, and just generally being an all-around hero. Great cast of characters, decent writing, solid gameplay for sure. I really like the soundtrack too, and at this point, honestly, this price, you're gonna get a ton of gameplay for your money because it's rocking 50% off. Okay, so this one, I'd be lying if I said it was, perfect. In fact, I've got to say it's kind of very average, but The Lost Child. That said though, it's coming in with this monster 70% off, and having played it for the channel, I can say this. First person dungeon crawling fans, you'll no doubt find some entertainment in this one, and you shouldn't be too disappointed given this price point. While I do think visually for the 3D elements it all looks a little, dated, it's the 2D dialogue elements that I loved, and the story really was solid, telling one of an occult journalist who's battling against angels, demons and all manner of just evil. Overall, this is just a traditional first-person dungeon crawler, so if you like the genre, I'd say take a look at this one as well. Okay, so before we do hit the next deal, I want to give a quick shout out to the folks over at Digital Cyber Cherries. They actually sponsored a video I dropped earlier today. While it's not on discount right now, I wanted to mention here that Hypercharge Unbox not only released a massive update and some DLC, but they actually released a free demo as well. It's a great game, well worth a look, so if you haven't added it to your library already, maybe give that demo a shot and see if it's one for you. I'm a big fan of the game, so yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, so before we do get to our first winner of the week, let's talk about Bethesda bringing the discounts just hard this week, and they have a few for us. First up, let's talk Skyrim, the game that's on literally at this point anything that powers on at this point. It's been around though for years, and with good reason. It's just a great game overall. Here though, you'll basically be diving into the world of Elder Scrolls and taking on a whole host of adventures. I don't personally think it's a perfect game, which may upset some people out there, but this port is, there's no doubt about it, fantastic. My 3 favourite things about this port though: first, obviously Skyrim on the go. Second, if you have the Zelda like amiibos, you can actually get like DLC for the costumes. And then finally, the motion controls here are actually pretty cool. I really enjoyed them. This one though, it's Skyrim. I mean, I feel like everyone knows about it, but it's won like 200 Game of the Year awards, and there's for sure a whole lot worse ways to spend your cash right now, considering you're going to get hundreds of hours out of this one. 50% off, you just can't go wrong. Then next up from them we get Doom, and while I talked about all the other ones on Thursday, so basically like Doom 1 through 3, this is the more modern variation. Now I gotta say, it's not Eternal. Who knows what happened to that Switch port, but this is about as good as first person shooters get, in my opinion. It's gory, it's fast paced, it has this stunning metal soundtrack, and then the visuals are solid on my favourite console. 50% off though too, like Skyrim, it's an absolute steal. So then finally we get Wolfenstein 2, and again 50% off, and it's another solid first person shooter. I'd personally choose like Doom first over this one, but still you will not be disappointed. Here expect to like just be facing wave upon wave of Nazi foes. All 3 of these games are about as good as ports get on the Switch, but just know you're gonna pay the price in SD card space. Skyrim's coming in with 14.3 gig, Doom with 13.7, and then Wolfenstein as well, 13.8 gig. These are absolutely just like monster sized games, so just make sure you've got the space before you drop the cash. Finally, you'll also find here in the discounts Wolfenstein 2 Youngblood. It's the cheapest release, it's coming at like $19.99 for the US, but I've seen that one lower physical. It's honestly also a little bit weak, and I'd only suggest that one if you're looking for some like co-op action. So our first winner of the week then, it's D-Tron 2021, who joined for the ride with the Warlock of Firetop Mountain. I've enjoyed it so far personally. I'd be interested to see what D-Tron thinks, so it's for sure an acquired taste, I'll give it that much though. But look, congrats, my email it is in the description below, so you can grab your $10 eShop gift card. We still have a second winner coming up, but remember to drop your comment below for your chance to win this week. It really is that simple. So now we got PSIKYO, Stars, Alpha and Bravo both coming in with 25% off. I reviewed Alpha, didn't get round to Bravo honestly, but I gave Alpha an amazing 9 out of 10. But with a stipulation that you should go physical at this price point because they are just crazy expensive. Still not honestly sure how I feel about them at this price digitally, but I can't deny the content here pretty much gives you just some of the best shmup action you can find. I'd suggest with these, watch a few reviews first because there's like a ton of games on each cart. If you do consider yourself a big fan of the genre though, check them out. Everyone else, I'd say wait and maybe take a look at your local price for the physical release because I think you can do better. Alright, so let's do my pickup of the week, or should I actually say pickups this week because there's 3 of them, with a stipulation which we will get to. First we got HATSUNE Miku Project Diva. This is one I actually meant to pick up at release. Is a case of I just never got around to it, so now is finally the time. It's a rhythm game that is highly regarded and I just can't wait to jump in. It even has motion controls too, which I am down for. It sounds very cool. Didn't really need a discount with this one honestly, so I'll take 25% off. Next up then we've got MEGADIMENSION NEPTUNIA 7. Honestly, I already own this one, I just still haven't got around to playing it. This though is an RPG, and from what I understand the characters actually represent like different consoles and brands, so think like Sony and Nintendo. I don't know a huge amount about it honestly, or the series, but it's dropping a 20% discount right now. I will say though it only released a couple of weeks back, so with how new it is, I think it's a decent amount, but I gotta say, if I'd paid for this one full price and it dropped just like 2 weeks after release, I think I'd be a little bit annoyed. Full transparency here with this one, the devs actually sent me a code. Finally, this is a recommendation I actually won't be picking up, and that is a visual novel called NIGHTSHADE. A friend of mine played it, loved it, but it is an Atome adventure. I hope I said that right. But basically that means it was designed with a female audience in mind. Here though basically expect murder, mystery and romance, and it seems that folks out there speak very highly of it, including a friend of mine. So while I do talk about visual novels, one I do own is Arcade Spirits. Also relatively new and it's coming in with 15% off. Not a huge discount by any means, but look, if you like the genre, this one's actually pretty cool. Reviewed it over on the channel and it's basically about a young character finding their way in life while taking on this new job at a retro arcade, and this game pretty much had me at like retro arcade. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It definitely has issues, but generally I enjoyed the story, I enjoyed the freedom in choices it provided me, and I'd love to see where this developer can like go next from here, because this is some solid work. Okay, so a quick one now, because 90% of you will no doubt fall asleep as I talk about it, but Snooker 19 coming in with a massive 60% off. Keep it simple. Like Snooker, this is a great option with a ton of like modes in here for good measure. It's Snooker, not much else to it, but as simulations go, it's a really solid one. Told you quick, you can wake up again now, and let's move on. Alright, so before we do get to the second winner of the week, we got Knight of Azure 2, Bride of the New Moon. This is coming in with 50% off, and it's basically like a hack and slash entry that I actually had some fun with. Here I expect a whole lot of just like action, very little depth, and a ton of fan service that's innocent enough, but I will say it's pretty forward about it as well. It has a few performance issues here and there. It was never worth its day one price either. But as games go, this is what I would almost consider like a guilty pleasure. Here though, lots of flashy moves, you'll take down a ton of enemies like some sort of superhero, and then the story, it's dumb stuff, the usual, you know, take down evil kind of plot. But yeah, if you was ever tempted by this one, maybe now is the time to make a move on it, because it is the lowest price ever. Okay, so our second winner of the week, and it's going to the JMix, who complimented the video from last week, which is always kind of weird honestly to talk about, but JMix, I do appreciate it. Hopefully you found a few games in this video to pick up as well. Drop me an email though to claim your $10 eShop gift card. Everyone else, as I say, look, drop a comment below for your chance to win in next week's video, and as always, I appreciate you all commenting and just, you know, taking part and starting like this crazy amount of conversation in the comments. It's building an amazing community here on SwitchCorner, and I absolutely appreciate it. Alright, so our final 3 games of the week, and first up, Super Hydora. What a game this is. I first played it on the Vita, and the second it hit the Switch, I was just like a day one buyer. This one, there's very little to say honestly, it's just like a side-scrolling shmup. Not the most popular genres out there, gotta say, but I love them. And the Switch is pretty much the best like place to play them. Here though, expect high score chasing, a decent soundtrack, pixelated throwback visuals, and tight controls. At 45% off, this is the only game on today's list not at an all-time low, but it's been a while since I've seen it honestly pop up, so I wanted to give it a shout out. Plus, the difference here between what its last price was is like maybe 99 cents, so not even a huge jump. So next then, this was a pickup for me in a video a couple of months back, and now I can get behind it, Hand of Fate 2. This game is simply put incredible. It's essentially a dungeon crawler mixed with like card deck elements and like a whole lot of RPG. I can't really think of another game quite like this one honestly, and I'm still playing it to this day. Full transparency here, I'm still actually trying to finish it. Great game though honestly, like beautiful characters, near perfect on the go, or in my case just kind of like, you know, chilling on the sofa. And yeah, I was just really impressed. I went in with pretty high expectations from all the good things I had read, but it absolutely surpassed them. It was one of those times when I was like, why didn't I just play this game sooner? So my final game of the week then, and for many of you, you will know it, but I love to share this one, AKANE. For those of you new to the channel, this was actually on one of my first deals videos that really kind of blew up for the channel. I suggested this, and so many of you grabbed it and loved it, and for me now it almost feels like it has a tie to this channel, which I absolutely adore. Here though, it's a very basic hack and slash, almost like twin stick shooter, as you wield a gun and a sword. Very little to this game, but what it does have is just one of those like one more go vibes to it, and I can't get enough of this cyberpunk world. If you're one of the few on the channel yet to buy this one, I'd say do it immediately. 80% off right now. It's not a rare sale to see, but one you will absolutely not regret, because it just has like a whole lot of heart to back up its gameplay. And that's it, another week down. What will you be adding to your library this week? If anything, let me know in the comments below. As always then, like a quick shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support us. It helps more than you know, and I just absolutely appreciate it. If you want to check that out for yourself, you'll find it linked in the description below. With that then, remember to enter our competition this week for one of 2 $10 eShop gift cards. Just drop that comment down below. Then if you're new here, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.